637 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. Of course, we are continuing to follow the events in Aurora, Colorado that we told you about on Friday. Standing by for ABC News there is Jim Ryan. He's on the line now to give us the very latest. Jim, there are a couple of things that have been out there. I want to see if you can help me straighten out fact from fiction. There is one report that's been sort of floating around there since the early going that some people thought that the guy had an accomplice, that there was somebody who opened the door for him. Is that being investigated, or has that been pretty much put away by police?
It's been investigated and it's been put away.
Okay.
The thinking is that the suspect did act alone. And you're right, there was deep concern that there might have been somebody else running around the mall there, running around the shopping center or the movie theater. But I think the police have pretty much settled on saying that this person did act alone.
What is the profile that is beginning to emerge of this troubled young man?
Bright guy, apparently, book smart, held a college degree and was, at one point at least, enrolled to receive his Ph.D. Had been working at a medical research facility here in Aurora. That led some people to think that some of the chemicals that were found in his apartment may have come from the medical school where he was working, but that apparently is not the case either.
Do we have any idea of why he left the school? He apparently quit his Ph.D. program in June. And are there any reports into why he left, or was he forced out?
No, he did withdraw voluntarily, apparently, and people aren't really sure why. Apparently he was intending to reapply or to get back in. I don't know if it was grades or something else. That's still one of the mysteries out here as to why he dropped out of school.
All right, so there were also, in all of this tragedy, there were some remarkable tales of heroism, and when we have these moments, it's also good to not only look at the horrific nature of what happened, but also the tremendous moment where people stood up and really were just heroes.
Sure, and we're hearing a lot about that. People who actually died, and these were folks who had gone to a movie that evening just to see a movie premiere, midnight showing. Ended up jumping on top of other people to spare them the bullets and ended up dying themselves. We know of at least two cases like that. In one case, a stranger who shielded a stranger from the bullet.
We lose him?
I believe we've lost him.
All right. ABC's Jim Ryan reporting from Aurora. I know that there was a 24-year-old by the name of Alex Tevez. He recently earned a master's degree. He is apparently also credited with jumping on top of his girlfriend to protect her. Same with 26-year-old John Blunk. Police say he saved the life of his girlfriend as well. And another man, Matt McQuinn, 27 years old. Police say he shielded his girlfriend and his brother from the gunfire as well. So you're absolutely right. A lot of cases of heroism in this event as well. There was also a report that's come out that the owner of a shooting range decided not to give a membership to the suspect, James Holmes, because he thought he was off. I mean, there's no other way to say it. He just thought he was a little bizarre. Said he had a gut reaction to him wanting to be, in the club, and told his staff not to allow him to become a member.
There were two things. He apparently had just a bad gut feeling about the guy, and then he said there was something very, very strange about his answering machine message that sort of made him think this guy's not quite right. And so, clearly people who were watching closely were beginning to pick up vibes from this guy that he wasn't quite there, and which makes me wonder, as this story develops, the thing I think we're going to see in the days ahead is information that comes from the university about why he withdrew.
Maybe since Jim Ryan is back with us, can you tell us a little bit more about the owner of the range, of the shooting range, who decided not to give Holmes a membership because he thought he was off?
Yeah, that's one thing that people have said. People I know who have met out here who were acquainted with him gave that same kind of impression. Nothing really specific, just sort of off a bit. Something gave people creepy feelings, I think, about this person. And yeah, in that one case, this person took action and decided he wasn't going to get a gun membership.
What do we know about the booby-trapped apartment complex? He apparently left all kinds of things that could explode, and the police were very careful about how to dismantle that apartment.
Right. They spent the full first day, all day Saturday, with robots and with long cameras and trying to figure out what was inside and then trying to dismantle it. They eventually ended up putting in a water bomb, is essentially what this was. Setting that thing off, it knocked over what these containers of liquid and knocked over the tripwires and pretty much obviated the threat that was there. Then investigators were able to get inside, and they started hauling out boxes of evidence and apparently some computer files, too.
Well, hopefully the computers will give us some information. ABC's Jim Ryan, we really appreciate you joining us from Aurora, Colorado.
Thanks so much.
Look, I mean, this guy wanted to do damage. I mean, there's no doubt about that. He planned on killing as many people as he could in the movie theater and then wanted to do even more damage by blowing up his apartment, and with the hopes of maybe the police being there or somebody to open the door and trip the wire that exploded the apartment to kill more people. He apparently had a jamage in his gun, and was a reason why he didn't continue to fire, because police had him, and he basically just gave up when police were there. He didn't, which just seems kind of odd, that he would have all that body armor on and have all those guns and not want to duke it out with police in a gun battle.
Well, there are two things that are unusual. He did not fight with police, and then he told police about the fact that his apartment was booby-trapped. Yeah. That was apparently the last productive thing he told them. And
I don't know if they got it out of him or if we openly, told them that.
One way or the other, they found out, that they needed to be very careful by going to their apartment. And that whole apartment, the stories that you hear out of that, this was apparently a very sophisticated setup that he had there with gasoline vials and explosives and a control box. It all came back to a central control box.